Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise is brought to you in partnership with Drive Media and Consulting and their premier sponsors. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms and share. If you just found us, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Denise DiGrigoli has spent her life in the creative industries as an entrepreneur, helping people transform their visions into thriving businesses, working with individuals and teams to find their purpose and live their life vibrantly. On her pod, Denise delivers business intel and life hacks with wit and wisdom in short shots like a strong espresso with a solid sense of humor. Enjoy this episode of Mav's Coffee Clarity, and here's Mav.
Welcome, my friends. You are on Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. We're a show designed to move you forward in work, life, and self-care. And come on, who doesn't need that nowadays? If you just stop by, welcome. And if you're a regular, thanks for coming back. I value each and every one of you. This is where I interview some fascinating people, entrepreneurs and creatives, mavericks in their own right. And I do believe that everybody's been a maverick, even for a minute, a moment, never mind a lifetime. So I interview fascinating people, and when I'm not doing that, it's just me, Mav, and a maverick or navigator mindset, what we call a short shot, just about 15 minutes long. And these short shots come from the work I do with my clients, the things that are going on in the industry, especially the entrepreneurial industry, the creative industry. I like to share some of the antidotes, the business intel, and the life hacks that I work on and together with my clients. So a little bit of problem solving. And we have a whole new segment called Ask Mav and the Fox. You might be wondering, what is that? Well, that's going to be a monthly segment of myself and my business partner and spouse of 25 years, Troy Musso, where we converge and tackle real life and business problems from two very different perspectives. And when you meet him, you're going to understand why, okay? Out of the two of us, he's the quieter, for sure. And a very unique perspective as an art conservator. So for today, it's me, Mav, in the Navigator Maverick mindset, the short shot. But before I start, I got this question yes, I drink a lot of coffee. I don't know. We're filming this at 4 o'clock today, so I'm sure my production assistant is like, whoa, too many cups of coffee for her today. And one of the questions we got recently was, if your coffee could give you a superpower, what would it be? Well, I have to ask you then, dear reader, dear audience listener, is it the morning coffee, the mid-afternoon double shot, or is it the afternoon coffee? Either way, my coffee hopefully would give me patience. It would give me reflection and hopefully help me ride through some challenging times. The other question I got this year, and this kind of works out well with season 2, is what's on my bucket list? So this is an interesting question. And even though it sounds rote and maybe pedestrian, I think it's an important question that we should all ask ourselves every single year, maybe even every single quarter. What's on your bucket list? Why? Because sometimes that can pull you out of your comfort zone. It can help you reshift your perspective. What's on my bucket list? Mav has had a bucket list since she was, since a young girl, but got real serious about the bucket list around 40. And around 40, I learned how to ski. I had never been a skier, and I achieved that. And I'm not going to say I'm the black diamond skier like my daughter, no, but I ski. And that's really empowering. Going to Italy in 2023 for the first time ever and spending time over there and traveling the country was on the bucket list. Learning how to do paddleboard yoga. Mav is extremely afraid of the water. Yeah, I can swim. I'm not a boater. But being on a paddleboard on the Long Island Sound definitely was the bucket list. So I don't know what could be on your bucket list. And sometimes I put the craziest things on my bucket list because there's also something great about just crossing it off if you don't want it there anymore, right? But there's something really, really emotionally charging, self-esteem building, confidence building when you put something on your bucket list that's sort of a stretch and you achieve it. And maybe embrace it, as I've done with skiing and paddleboard yoga. I was that typical kid that grew up that was sort of the artsy-fartsy kid and maybe a little chubby, said no one ever again. And maybe I wasn't the kid that was always picked in, volleyball. So I never really had that level of confidence to do a lot of sports. But in my later years, or we'll call them the golden years or the wisdom years, because here on Mav's Coffee Clarity, we are all about roasting ageism. Age is an asset. And I guess part of the asset is learning that it's okay to be you and to try things on your bucket list and also having the courage to take things off. So what's on my bucket list this year? To really make this podcast successful so that the listeners like you get something out of it. You want to share it. We help people move forward. My grandmother used to say, if you teach a person how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. If you give a person one fish, she might only eat for a moment, right? So Mav's Coffee Clarity is designed to be coffee conversations, like coffee with a friend. So if you pull one thing out of anything you hear and it unlatches you to move forward or think about things differently or change up your bucket list, then I feel like we've done our job. So season 2, we're going to have 3 segments. Again, it's going to be Ask Mav and the Fox once a month. It's going to be Mav in the Navigator mindset, really tenacious, creative, gritty ideas to help you move forward, or just the things that I'm working on. Maybe we'll shed some light on helping you move forward. And then fascinating people. Oh, I can't even tell you who's lined up because it's so exciting this year. Right, Olivia? Really exciting. Really, and we are filming more on location this year. So we have offices in Massachusetts and Western Mass and in Connecticut and Southern Fairfield County, and we go on location. And we're going to be in some fabulous locations, my friends. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be in New Haven. Isn't that exciting? Very. I'm answering my own questions now. How's that working for me? Leading the audience. No. Okay, so what do I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk to you about time. Ooh, people say, I am not organized, Denise. Well, the minute you say you are not organized, guess what, my friends? You are not organized. I mean, you just set the train down that track. How about if you're going to change that inner dialogue and say, I'm becoming more organized today. Now, I am not a big proponent of resolutions. I think they're restrictive. I think they're confining. I like intentions. Best intentions. Why? Intentions give you flexibility, and all of us creatives like that. So for those of you that are saying, oh, I'm not creative, Denise. Ooh, I better turn off this podcast. No, to the no. Everybody's creative. You dress a certain way. You like certain colors. You spice your food a certain way. You adorn your house or your apartment a certain way, etc., etc. These are creative choices. Everybody's creative. So let's just get over that right out of the gate. The other thing is, we all know all the old adages and cliches. We can't get time back. Spend your time wisely. Ooh, we can't, This isn't about that, but let's think about it. We're 30 days in. We have 11 months left. My friends, I think that is 334,584 days to be specific. More like 8,030 hours. Okay, that's a reality check. And we all have the same 1,400 minutes a day. We get to choose. And therein lies the beauty. We get to choose. Now, you're going to say, I have obligations, I have children, I have pets, I have aging in-laws or parents, any number of things. We all have things that pull us from our time and the things that we want to get done. Just general obligations. Would you agree, my friends? Olivia, am I kind of hitting the notes today? Good. So what can we do to prioritize ourselves and all the other obligations so that we can actually use those 1,400 minutes or what we have left of this year, 8,030 hours in a constructive way? Or maybe I had that mixed up. Maybe it's it's not 300,000 days. Oh my heavens. I've got that mixed up, Olivia. It's 334 days, not 300,000. Is that a typo in my notes? See, people, you just have to laugh it off. If you don't allow a little humor in your day, I said it so confidently, 300,584 days. I mean, we'd all be off the planet by then, I think. I don't even know. No, 334 days and 8,000 hours. Let me correct myself. That's the beauty, too. You know, you can always correct yourself. Self-forgiveness is a good thing. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? Are we going to start a company? Are we going to rewrite our resume? Are we going to sell our company? Are we going to take a nap? Are we going to try a class? Are we going to do a recipe? Are we going to travel somewhere? What are we doing with the next 11 months, in all seriousness? What's on that bucket list? Now, maybe your bucket list goes 5 years out. You still need to take steps over the next 11 months to help you fulfill whatever that is. So think about it with intention, not resolution. Once you say, ooh, I'm going to lose 5 pounds by February 5th, you've stuck yourself in a metal box with a lot of confinement. And that doesn't always feel good and also can work against you. So I think about some of the work I'm doing with my clients and I say, let's reflect. Let's reflect on what's working. What's worked in the past year? And we usually set a list of what's worked. Now, instead of saying what's not working, ooh, doesn't that sound horrific? What's not working? Let's say what needs improvement. That's a little lighter, a little more palatable. Let's make a list of what's working and what's not working and where there's opportunities. That sounds pretty good to me. And it allows a little more creativity and like spicing your food slightly different. So I want to go over some of the things that steal our time. I have a list of 9, and I'm actually going to read them, if that's okay with my audience and my production assistant, since I made the mistake of saying 380,000 days. Here are 9 common robbers of time. I want you to think about these next 9 phrases and, mentally just check off which ones apply to you. Allowing negative self-talk and mental chatter to steal your focus. What's that? You're not good enough. You should have done it better. You should have gone there. You should have been there. Your friend excelled at this. You didn't. Any of this negative self-talk, or even like, I don't like how I look in my clothes today. That's not me. I'm just saying some people can't get out of their house in the morning because they've got such negative self-talk. So, or when you're coming out of a meeting or you're coming out of a business negotiation and it didn't go exactly the way you thought it should go, the overthinking starts happening. And then the next thing you know, you start believing all your thoughts. We don't need to do that. So let's not believe all our thoughts either. Living in the past or living too far in the future. I'm definitely guilty of that. I remunerate sometimes the past. I'm as a salesperson or trained as a salesperson and having spent many years building businesses and helping clients with that. Salespeople look for the obstacles before they happen so they can troubleshoot them and be ready to have a justifiable answer or a solution or an alternative idea, right? But sometimes living too far, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? And, now living in the past and being so nostalgic that you can't move forward is what I'm talking about. Sometimes past experiences inform and shape our future decisions. So these aren't all black and white, go to this side or that side, but living in the past can keep you stuck, right? If you weren't a good math student, you might think, I can never have a job in finance. And that could be the furthest thing from the truth, my friends. So tapping back into that old bucket list, we're not going to live in the past and we're not going to live so far in the future. We're going to live in the present so that the past and the future don't steal our present time. Letting unplanned distractions or interruptions dictate your day. Anybody that has been raising a family, caretaking anyone or anything, or starting a business knows the old saying, we're all a fireman at one time or another putting out a fire. Yet, I do like one thing that my business partner does. I like a lot of things that he does, but this is the one favorite thing I like that he has ingrained in me. Let's not talk about anything negative, as in his old friend Les Brown, the author, says. Let's not talk about anything negative before lunch. This is a booyah. Why? Because if you start picking up negative phone calls or nagging phone calls or crazy emails that set off the trajectory of your day, those unplanned distractions will create that sort of chaotic day. And you probably won't get things done that you need to get done. So unplanned distractions, you got to maybe mute your notifications. Maybe you look at your email once an hour, not every 10 minutes, like I do sometimes. And, the cool thing about this list of time robbers is that once you become aware and you actually think about it, you start to do it less. At least that's been my experience. I take some time every morning to prioritize my day, the top 3 or 5 things. And, life is daily. That's why it's important to do these things daily. I often make a joke. You brush your teeth every day, don't you, my friends? Because it's maintenance. And imagine if you didn't do that. So prioritizing your day is almost as important as brushing your teeth in the morning. What do you visualize happening for the day? So if you don't prioritize your day, you kind of just ramshackle through all those distractions. Getting lost in the scroll, the doom scroll, the FOMO, for whatever reason. Maybe you're distracted at the doctor's office and you're in the scroll. And maybe you're reading things that aren't positive. And maybe that's sucking your time and therefore it takes you down another channel. Or maybe the next person you engage with, you don't bring your true personality to the table because you've been in the doom scroll wasting time. So what else can you do in the doctor's office instead of the doom scroll? Maybe you can meditate. Maybe you can just sit quiet. Sometimes when you sit quiet, really great ideas come through. Juggling too much at once. I know. The spoiler alert is multitasking. I'm getting better at that, but I've definitely been a victim of thinking multitasking was great. And frankly, sometimes when you're caring for a lot of things in your life, you have to multitask. But I think I like the word yet instead of but. I often say that, right, Olivia? Yet, if you must multitask, try to finish one task at a time. Actually complete the whole 9 yards of it. Letting your emotions be hijacked by external forces. It happens. So again, we can choose the thoughts that we want to think, and we don't have to believe every thought we do think. Surrounding yourself with people that see the cup half empty. This is a huge time suck. I always say you're the sum of your 5 best friends. And listen, those 5 best friends are going to have off days. But if you're surrounded with people that forever see that glass half empty, you are wasting time, and valuable time that is needed to help you get to your bucket list or to your next goal or vista. And pouring into everyone else's cup and leaving your own empty. Well, it kind of goes tandem with the one I just said before. There's that old saying, you must put the oxygen mask on first before you help your fellow passenger. So self-care isn't a dirty word. Self-care is really important so you can be the best you can be to yourself first and to others. So the 9 robbers of time is allowing negative self-talk, living too far in the past or the future, unplanned distractions let in, not taking time to prioritize that to-do list, getting lost in your scroll, juggling, the juggler, and too many emotions hijacked, and surrounding yourself with people that drain your cup and that don't fill your cup. Okay, so what can you do about it? What's the solution, Denise? Because I'm over by 2 minutes already, Olivia. Is that okay? It's the opening season. All right. Olivia's giving me a couple extra minutes. Be aware. Be aware. Because when you're aware, you can be kind to yourself and kind to others. And then you're going to make that top list of 3 to 5 priorities, and you're going to breathe. I was at a workshop this morning, and to set the intention of the workshop, the facilitator said, breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 5 and do it 3 times. And I had that monkey mind chatter right alongside of me because I needed to meet with people today and work on this podcast and other things. But when I could breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 5, 3 times, it reset the system. I'm going to highly recommend that you try it, and I want you to tell me in the comments if it's working. And then, really, I love this one, controlling the monkey mind chatter, because when I make it in a joke in my mind, I can really say, okay, monkeys, you're not in my circus. out. Get out of the mental house, my mental house, get out. And when I can see my thoughts going awry, because we all let our thoughts go awry, we think 70,000 plus thoughts a day. Now, how many of them are true? Especially the one that says, ooh, you're not good enough. Or, ooh, those clothes look too tight. Or, ooh, your hair isn't dyed the correct color. Said no one about my hair. Anyways, you have to really think about that monkey mind chatter. What's real, what's not? And then the thing I tell my clients all the time is you put your best effort forward. You bring your best self and your best intentions, and you let go of the outcome. Because something will come in. It might even be better than you intended. But when you let go of that attachment, like I'm going to do it now, you let go of that attachment and you allow something better to come in my experience, so many times more than not, it comes in. So how you kind of set the tone of your day is by that little mental reflection that you have, prioritizing, allowing things in, releasing things, inviting, and then letting go of the attachment. Does that make any sense, my friends? I don't know. I think it does. Listen, I'd love to have you visit DeniseDiGrigoli.com. You can follow me on YouTube, Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. You can find us here wherever you listen to your favorite pods. Sign up for my newsletter and find us on Substack. Let's keep the conversation going. One cup, one conversation at a time, my friends. This is how we all move forward together. Peace out. Mav has got to get back to work. Hey, that's a wrap for today, my friends. Thanks for listening, subscribing, and staying connected with me. Head on over to DeniseDiGrigoli.com and learn a little bit more about my creative and strategic consulting services. While you're there, drop your name on the contact page. Sign up for my bi-weekly brew. It's fresh ideas delivered to your inbox a couple times a month for clarity, creativity, and better communication. It's based on my 3 decades as an entrepreneur, helping other people and businesses move forward. It's great business intel and life hacks that you can use for work, life, and self-care. And come on, who doesn't need that nowadays? Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, my friends. Mav has got to get back to work.